Oh, well done. Yes, that is a successful...
We're so good at camera operation.
setting up at 20 to 2 on Saturday, the 9th of September specifically.
Hope you enjoy this podcast at 1:30 on Sunday, the 10th of September. Bye.
What were you doing at 20?
Please comment. Right, we say comment down below like random shit quite a lot, which usually I'm going to do. I don't really care about. I'm genuinely curious to know if you can remember what time would you say it was. It's like
it's 22.
If you can remember anything you were doing, even between 1 and 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or
between 1 and 3.
Just
let's
please
be
let
honest.
us. I'm very curious. What were you doing early to late afternoon of Saturday? Let us
What
know.
were you doing yesterday?
I'm just curious as we're sat
How's
here.
your week been?
Let's have a chinwag.
Well, give us your autobiography. What's going on in your life?
Send us the Amazon link to your fucking auto. Hate myself.
No.
Shows,
Mad Publishing. We can publish
we
people's autobiographies.
We have I do find it crazy because I didn't realise until probably way too recently. This is kind of going off what we're talking about, but kind of not. That the Fellas is like a studio now.
Yes.
And because they host Growing Pains, don't they?
They do Growing Pains. They do a couple of the football podcasts.
Yeah, I think
They do Saving Grace.
They do. And I didn't know that till fairly recently, but that's really cool.
I think they do like an F1. I'm just gonna
Bloody F1.
Let's rank the Fellas Studios podcast.
Oh my god.
Cal Freezy, if you're interested. I wouldn't be fully convinced, but I'm sure we could roughly come to the negotiating table if you will. I felt like it was coming from the house, but no one else is in.
No, it really did.
We might be able to come.
We might be able to see. So we've got a lot of offers at the moment. It's the end.
Yeah.
So we've got Spotify on our tail.
What's good? Mini Minter is on there.
They're starting a. They're really wanting to.
Do they not have a Twitter? That was kind of how I was gonna.
But the Fellas don't have a Twitter.
No, I'm sure it's a Google.
It's kind of.
See if they have a website like.
I bet if they do, that'd be so upsetting.
God, better be Squarespace if nothing else.
Yeah. God's loving it.
Somehow I end up typing failed when trying to type in fellas. So it's quite ironic.
They
I'm
definitely.
sure how I managed that because there's 3 different letters.
It's not a hard word to spell.
Somehow I've typed in fellas podcast and then Reddit was the one I ended up clicking on. I'm not having a good.
We've got this.
Right, the Fellas Studios.
Is it a website?
Right, so okay. So the podcasts that exist are Chloe versus the World.
No idea.
Do you
Who's
know
that then?
Who that is?
Chloe Burrows.
Chloe
No
Burrows.
idea. Over my head.
Growing Pains.
Literally was listening to it
I've
before
listened to
I
every
came down.
episode.
Yeah.
It's so fucking jokes. Not My Bag,
Who are
spelled
they?
with 2 G's from.
Oh, they're
Uniqueness.
quirky. It's like with Jack, mate, in 2 A's.
Pitch
Pitch
Side,
Side's okay.
I do quite like a bit of Pitch Side, not gonna
That's
lie.
the first one I've known. Other than obviously.
Even though
Growing
Tom
Pains.
Garrett, fuck you.
Saving Grace I've heard of, I've never listened to.
Not my choice. The Club, basically, the not as good.
I say it's just
Side.
Pitch Side and B-Tech.
What the fuck?
Well,
Why is-
no PK's on my screen.
Obviously, the Fellas.
Really?
The Fellas Mysteries is a
What?
separate podcast.
They have a little
apparently.
spin-off.
The Last
I'll
Lap.
ask the F1.
Yeah, love it, F1.
Low IQ. Who's that?
Oh, is that the
that Jack
TikTok
they're
comedy people?
I've listened to that's the kind of podcast where I looked at them. There are a couple of episodes that sort of grabbed me, but I've not gone through and listened to every. It's kind of where I am with Stephen Bartlett's podcast, where I don't think I've listened to an episode in about 2 months.
It has to be
if there's a case, I'm like, that is
I
genuine.
have listened to some.
He did
recently.
one with Richard Osmond that I listened to because he's gone through quite a lot. That was quite. It has to be a guest that I'm like, yes, I actually genuinely want to know about this person's life.
I think the Low IQ podcast is proof to me that short form content doesn't transition into long form content.
I agree.
Because I like those. If you ask me to name some of the TikTokers that I can actually name and go, yeah, I really like them. I'd go with them, but I just have no
think
interest.
Jack Joseph is so funny on TikTok, but I don't care about them doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, is that thing where people get big on TikTok for a certain thing. Like, thing is, they've done it. Like, if you've got to keep your same content. Like, if he then went onto YouTube and started doing like the old sort of skits that like Stephen Tries would do, that would be because that's what he does on a TikTok. If he made them longer form. that would be a good idea. But just going, podcast.
I think
okay, that's
TikTok
not the
to
same thing.
podcast.
Yeah, TikTok to YouTube,
What?
doable. TikTok to a podcast. Come on.
I think
because a YouTube video can be like 5 minutes, and that's a standard length for a YouTube video, and so that's fine. But an hour is just it's.
I think it's about the level of connection because podcast. I think the only one that doesn't work is TikTok to podcast because even podcast, if you're invested in that, you'll watch their TikToks. It's about
and I guess TikTok is a good way to get new viewers for your podcast. You put a funny clip on there and edit it like the subtitles and stuff. People go, oh, that's a funny podcast. Let's go and find that. So I think that way works. I just think it's the vice versa of going from TikTok to podcast it's a brave move.
Just to say, this is a themed episode,
yeah.
and we haven't even done our fucking intro yet. Hello and welcome to the Mediocre Best Podcast. Je suis James, the Nutty Brick Skinner.
Je suis Fraser Oliver.
Your French accent.
That's good.
Oh, you're gonna smash
I
Days.
can't believe we've done
Lucky
6 minutes.
Sorry.
No good.
It all comes like a roller, just like Kane.
Lucky roller coaster. I can't believe we've done 6 minutes of preamble.
We just kind of...
These preambles are just getting longer. We need to do a
treated
podcast.
that like
what
a
we need
notes
to
episode.
do is we need to do a podcast, not intro it until like 50 minutes in, and have just like 49 minutes of preamble. Then we just call it the preamble podcast. That's a good name for that. That's a great name.
That's basically what this podcast is.
If we ever need to rebrand, we get a lawsuit in from one of the other 7 channels on YouTube that are called Mediocre at Best.
Which I think we're now the most
We
popular.
are the most. If you type Mediocre at Best in now, because I tried it on because I tried it on mine, that might be suggestions. So I went on like an account I'd never used and did it, and we are the first one that come up, which is good because we weren't before.
We're also getting close to that big boy
We are. What we are
subscriber
now?
mark. 85, I think, when I checked.
Late 80s.
We're
We're knocking on death's door. Big 100.
Oh god!
I still think it would be so cool if we could hit 100 on the 100th episode, but we're hurtling towards the 100th episode quicker than we're hurtling towards the 100th episode.
Okay, we're on 84, so I lied.
Okay,
But we're only on episode... Well, this is episode 74.
Well, today's episode.
Yeah. So if we...
Feasibly...
We have to get back on the video, so then we can, keep them promoted.
We do need
which
to do
we
a
never
video.
do.
But seeing as our most viewed video on the channel is a reaction to a million streams, we should do another video of some sort.
We will, definitely.
Anyway, theme.
Fraser!
Yes.
You like food!
I'm a fat cunt.
You have a channel!
I have a channel.
You have a video on that channel where I talk about my dream food.
You do. This is a This is a concept that originally I stole from Jackmate, having stole it from Off Menu. So basically, it's you just go to a dream restaurant. You talk about your what you'd have for starters, main, dessert. But you also talk about where the restaurant, that sort of thing. It's basically a concept that I originally stole from Jack, who originally stole it from Off Menu with Ed Gamble and someone.
Sure.
Who is it?
I've been watching Ed Gamble on Pointless recently. He
Ed
seems like he doesn't care.
I like Ed Gamble, but I don't like him on Pointless.
Yes.
Ed Gamble's a funny guy.
I mean, we can say if this goes well, I can't remember what I said, so I can always.
I can remember certain moments that were really funny, like at the
something
start.
about. I think also about eating cream off David Tennant.
There was. You went out the back and had a profiterole off his chest.
Sounds about right, and that will probably stay in.
I think there was a moment where Sol, because it was me, you, Fabian, and Sol, and it was over Zoom. So it's me and you on separate calls, and then Fabian and Sol other ends of the table in his garden. And Sol went to cheers his drink, went to drink it, realised he had a mask on and just put it back down. And that was a really funny moment. And then Fabian started...
He was perfectly allowed to be there, I think, by the rules of the lockdown. It's like...
He's playing it very safe.
Just put your mask down. Come on.
The other moment that was really funny is when you were talking, Fabian was trying to tell you what you couldn't have, and you just screamed,
"It's my fucking dream restaurant!"
He was fully telling you, you can't do this, and I've never seen you so angry about a concept for a podcast in my life.
Oh, that's why we do it, for the fun, comedic banter rooskaroonies. So today you're designing your dream restaurant, and I'm going to try and facilitate the right questions, which I don't know yet, and then comedically take the piss out of you for the viewing pleasure. So Fraser, what is your restaurant called?
Shay. as it house in French. A lot of places like are called chez something.
Oh, so is it French themed in any way, or is it just for the...
Just fancy name, isn't it?
Fair enough.
Chez Scran. There we go. It's called...
House Scran!
House Scran. The Scran House. Chez Scran.
Lovely. What's like the decor? What kind of vibe are you going for?
I'm seeing like... You know when you walk into like a local pub, and it kind of feels like you might die? You know, like you're kind of like, this is a lovely local feel, but it also feels slightly world's endy where I might actually not make it out here alive. So it's like weird like paintings on the wall, like that's at least from the 1700s and looks terrifying. There's a smell of something you can't quite work out what the smell is.
This is your dream restaurant.
Yeah, because it's authentic, you know. It shares like
authentic Chez Scran.
Yeah, Chez. That is their tagline. Chez Scran, authentically shit. I'd go.
Yeah.
Authentically shit.
Is there anything you'd like just to let us know about this restaurant before we get into the food?
It's got a lovely beer garden. That's because
are you just designing your dream pub?
Kind of, yeah. But that is my dream restaurant. Like, because I don't You can go out for like the fanciest restaurant if you want. That's fine. Be like that. But there's no better place to go and get food than like a nice pub.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go niche here, like the landing light sort of style back at like that sort of way. It's just they've got like you could be having a curry, the person next to you's having a burger, and the person in front of you got like a lasagna. Like this is a weird that yeah, it was
the fucking
it was the first pub I thought of. But like that kind of like
fair.
I think a pub is better than a restaurant, which is, you know, it's the opinion. I don't care about going for like, a 5-course taste meal with a cheese board. Fuck off with your cheese board. I'd rather a lasagna, which isn't my main, by the way. Don't worry.
So, Fraser.
Yes, James.
Let's start with the starters.
I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anyone that actually knows me. It's going to be halloumi, but a very specific. Because the best halloumi that I've ever had, and it's going to sound awful, is Nando's. Like,
that's
once
correct.
you have Nando's halloumi, no other because Spoons do halloumi, and sometimes when we go to Spoons, if we're getting drunk, we might get some halloumi. That was fine. I could cope with that.
No,
I hadn't had Nando's until when we went to uni. I'd never had Nando's for like 20 years of my life, which seems mental to most people. And then I was like, that's fine, halloumi's halloumi. And Nando's halloumi is incredible. But sometimes the cooking of it can vary. Like sometimes...
Oh, when I was in Plym the other day.
Oh, was it perfect?
Smashed it.
Like, okay, how do you like halloumi? Because obviously, like, sometimes there's no, like, cook marks on it at all. Sometimes there's some, like, char marks. Sometimes it's just, like, a goldeny brown.
Do you know what I love?
Go on.
You know when you get, like, char grilled, like, chicken kind of lines, right? The black lines across it.
Yeah.
I can't.
That's how it is. That's how it's got to be. Because when it's golden brown, I feel like it's kind of not overcooked, but I feel like there's no like there's something aesthetic about like the black charred lines on something like that. Just looks more edible than just goldeny brown.
Do you know what I fucking hate?
Okay. Oh god.
Like any form of like dips, fair enough. You do you. Yeah. I personally am just a halloumi in my fetting gob kind of guy.
Fetting gob.
But like breaded halloumi or like any form of like because like lounges do that where you get halloumi. I literally remember I ordered some halloumi. It turned up. And it turned up in fucking Hovis.
Why do I want?
Why?
I don't want a halloumi sat. Why is there breadcrumbs? What? Because genuinely, what are breadcrumbs added? I would argue
just diluting the flavour.
Do you know what I'd argue? I don't know if breadcrumbs work well with any... I can't think of one thing I go, breadcrumbs, class.
Fish, just get it battered, you can.
Literally, because you could say, like chicken nugget. No, because get them battered. If you're choosing breadcrumbed over battered, I genuinely have to start questioning you. Like, name a food that is better with breadcrumbs. You actually can't.
It was like... You know, like a chicken select kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like...
No, is that
breadcrumbs? That's kind of breadcrumbs.
It's like battered breadcrumbs.
It's like, right, I feel like this speaks to like white English people. Like, if you like, because obviously, like, Selects, you got a little bit of, they put some effort in there, they whack a little bit of flavour in it. I feel like as soon as you put any form of spice in a breadcrumb, it's immediately not a breadcrumb anymore.
That is very
I'm just used to the British dinners of fish and chips, and it's just some soul in breadcrumbs.
I think I found one way where breadcrumbs work.
Oh,
fish cake.
Oh,
I fucking love a fish cake.
Slap like my dad after some wine.
Oh God, are you alright, James?
I just thought I'd make a funny bit. My dad hasn't slapped me after a bottle of wine.
It was drink wine? It was 3 bottles. Fish cakes. Right, we thought the only way that works is fish cakes. Because I love a fish cake. Which is weird, because I don't really like fish.
I know we've said it before, but cheaper the better.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Cheaper the better.
It's just salmon and fucking... Fuck off!
Right, parsley, kill yourself.
Oh my God.
I fucking hate any...
Or chives. Chives? Sounds like a fucking instrument. I don't want chives anywhere near my fish.
I love chives, Banner. Just give me smashed up, shitty eyeball fish with some fucking warburns around it.
Literally, that's all. Yeah, we found the one way it works, and that's breadcrumbs with fish cakes.
Halloumi.
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen. We're just gonna.
Yeah, good.
But halloumi, and I agree with chard marks on it. And I don't want any of your chili jam or that sort of stuff, really, to be honest. It's the thing is, it's not. I don't mind it, but I don't need it, and I'd probably rather not have it.
You're running a business here. You got to save on the expenses.
Exactly, and you don't need chili jam. Because if you need chili jam my theory is, if you need dips for a food, the food is shit. That's genuinely how I look at it. It's like when people get Domino's and start dipping it in the garlic and herb. I'm like, is your pizza not saucy enough? Have you got a shit pizza that you need to put garlic and herb on it? Genuinely. Because I will have dips, but I could eat without dips. And people are like, this needs a dip. So it's just dry food then, isn't it? Cook better, dickhead.
That was a lovely rant. I felt like I was being taken on a ride, and I enjoyed that ride.
We should talk. What's the optimal number of halloumi sticks? And what's because you can get the sticks. You can get a slab of halloumi. What? Because the sides and the starters at Nando's are different, or are they the same halloumi?
I think it's
this is what I can never work out.
It's kind of like a little rectangle of halloumi. But I'd say it probably adds up to the amount of halloumi of 1.5 to 2 sticks of it. Or you can get the starter of halloumi.
Sticks or slabs is the question, isn't it?
I mean, I would go sticks. For a starter.
Also, sticks are easy to eat. Because you can literally pick them up like a chip. Whereas slab, it's there's too much halloumi on one.
What I would say, I'm not sure if it's going to get controversial, is that with Nando's halloumi, I would rather they dropped the price by £1 and gave me one less stick. Because not that I'm not enjoying it, but I find that, the amount is lovely, but I'm there you know what? I never find I need the big stick.
Yeah, I'd be content with 4 sticks of halloumi and a lower price. Because then...
Especially because I feel like...
If you're just going there for you're just getting halloumi, first of all, that's a bit strange. Why are you not getting chicken? But also, if you're just going there for that, that's fine. But most of the time, you're going to be getting a meal after that. So you don't want to fill up on the halloumi. But you want a little tease.
And also, I find, the best bite is the first bite. Because you're just oh my God. And then obviously, as your palate is more used to, a bit of cheese in your mouth. You're... it tastes less, so just cut out the last thing. The first 4 are still going to be just as good, and then you're just cutting out the worst tasting stick, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, you're right.
I'm right, aren't I?
You're yeah, I do tend to do that.
Yeah. I actually reckon 3 or 4 would be the perfect amount. But I'm not going to say no to 5, because, I do blend.
That's the thing, I'm not, if there's 5, I'm like 5. But no, I think 4 would be optimal amount of halloumi sticks. Chard marks, that's my specific. 4 halloumi sticks with little charred black marks on them, and no dips, please. No dips.
You can pay extra for dips if you want dips.
That's if you want a dip, then you have to pay 50p for your little chili jam. If you don't want it, well done. Eat your halloumi. Problem solved.
Well done. Well said.
I'm very... sorry, let's go back to breadcrumbs. I'm still on what's good with breadcrumbs. Where do you stand on breaded mushrooms? Because I don't like mushrooms, but I know you... So for me, they're foul. But I know you like mushrooms.
See, honestly, breaded mushrooms, we're going to go back to it. A little barbecue sauce.
Oh, okay.
But like, there is something so sexual about... I'm not kidding.
No, I don't.
About, I think I have mentioned this before, but like, restaurants that are connected to a Premier Inn, like
Beef
your
eaters.
beef eaters,
Yes.
your fucking Hungry Horse.
Oh.
The barbecue sauce now, it's like rich and tangy and thick and so ridiculously fuckable.
See, this is why I picked a pub.
Yeah.
It's gonna have that rich, ridiculous barbecue sauce. Because pubs do the best food. I'm sorry.
Slaps like my dad after a glass of vino.
I'm specifying the wine.
I don't know why I said vino.
No,
I'm not cool.
For a podcast about food, it's getting very deep a little bit. Where you
Now,
start
breaded mushrooms with that barbecue.
Okay. So is that enough for the breadcrumbs work on?
That is something you can dip the halloumi in. Oh, imagine that. That rich, tangy
Like
barbecue
Hungry
barbecue.
Horse barbecue sauce with Nando's halloumi.
Oh!
Oh my! You know how
Get in my pants!
You know how they sell like the Nando's condiments in Asda? They should do like Hungry Horse. They should just sell the beef eater barbecue sauce. I wouldn't buy anything else.
I just see that and just my body would just become a wind tunnel. I'm desperate. Oh, yeah!
I really wish they sold barbecue sauce now. Next time I'm in Western, I might go to the Supermare and go, hello, can I have a thing of barbecue? I will pay you for it. I want an uneopened bottle of your finest barbecue
finger
sauce.
your barbecue sauce, please.
Lucky barbecue sauce.
Do you have any other options for your... Or is it just halloumi?
I would like to talk about one of the most popular starters that I don't think is very good, and that's garlic bread. Because
to be fair though, as a sometimes I could be a bit of a fussy kid. My parents saw a place for some cheesy garlic bread as a starter, and they were like, "Yep, he's gonna be happy. We're gonna calm down."
See, now we've got to about the three types of garlic bread. Because to me, you've got garlic pizza bread. You've got like a garlic baguette thing, or you've got like the slices.
Slices.
Yes, it's the only right answer.
I don't mind the garlic pizza bread. To be fair.
I think
I would never cop for myself a baguette.
I don't like the baguettes. I just think they're pointless.
We
because
have a bit of nostalgia for the baguettes because my parents was used to. If it was garlic bread, you knew it was the baguettes.
Well, my parents would always buy that, but maybe that's why I don't like it. So that's the only. But then for me,
it's like me with the Kiev. I don't mind the taste of the chicken Kiev, but my God, did my mum dealing with my dad's redundancy go, fuck it, lads, I can't afford to feed you, it's chicken Kiev time, baby.
What was it in the Kiev? Was it like a garlic one, or was it like a cheesy bacon
Usually it was either garlic or, weirdly, I think we've discussed this before, but...
Sorry, after like nearly 100 episodes, we're going to start repeating ourselves.
Did you ever have like the peppercorny Kiev?
Oh, I did.
Chicken Kiev with a bit of pep... Fucking...
slapped
like my dad after a glass of rosé.
Okay,
it's changing.
New wine, I know.
Like it's basically like the consistency of the slap.
Yeah.
It's just like how like violent.
I'm excited to see how many different wines you're gonna name. I say, how many wines do you know?
Slaps like my dad after 2 glasses of Merlot.
It takes 2 glasses of Merlot.
Yeah, it takes 2
glasses
of it. It's ironic because that's a
Yeah,
red and therefore it's slightly heavier.
Heavy, yeah, but you know
Just
what?
like my dad.
Yeah. Just like this. That'll become a running joke.
Right, do you have any... So you don't like garlic bread?
I don't mind garlic bread, but I don't think it's very good. Because you're filling up on bread. You're literally, if you're starting with, like, bread, that's going to fill you up and then you get to a meal. You can't have your full meal because you've just had a fucking starter of a loaf of bread.
I occasionally, my grandparents have gone, oi oi, it's treat time, lads, we're going to a posh place. And if they have a bit of bread on the table, that's a little bit of
if
posh
it's bread
butter.
rolls and you got, that is.
Like, a little bit of seeds.
So that's why I'm a hypocrite, because I'll be like, right, I can't, because if I have bread, I won't eat the meal. And then if there's like fresh bread rolls in like the basket with some nice one, but I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to have some of those bread rolls. I mean, obviously, you're gonna have some of those fresh like bread rolls, like
Yes.
really nice salted butter. Salted butter, by the
yes,
way.
thank you.
But none of that
Finish
answer.
that fucking debate, thank you.
It's one of my favourite moments on my channel.
Will become a thing.
Are you okay?
Yes, I am. Mains.
Right.
Oh, unless you have any more starter
I don't
banter.
I don't think I do.
I do love a bread and mushroom. I love a bread and mushroom, that barbecue sauce. Like sipping on wine.
I'm gonna like the wine.
Like the fuck.
Quick.
Like the Sauvignon Blanc, my.
That was the whitest way of saying like the Sauvignon Blanc. It was so good.
Oh, I've only had a cheesecake today for
How was
food.
your cheesecake?
It was really nice. There was just a random cheesecake that's all left the fridge. I might do some like loaded fries for lunch because I kind of fancy treating myself something nice.
What's the fries with?
Got some like chicken, and I might just do some like chicken cheesy.
That's barbecue.
Have some bacon. I think I have bacon. Yeah, could do some bacon.
I'm gonna be very niche with my main, but I know you're gonna back this to the hills. I'm gonna go. I know you do great food here, but could you travel to Falmouth, please, and get me a country fried chicken from Buku's?
That's your dream, right?
Yes, I don't think.
Oh, we should go get country fried chicken, man. I want a country fried chicken.
I think we should go to the.
Sorry, guys, we're off.
Honestly,
to country fried chicken.
I don't think there's ever been a meal I've had that's as consistently good as country fried chicken, because there are meals I like.
Sometimes it's a little bit too crispy and there's not much chicken. And there's sometimes you mix it up, don't you? I never mix it up.
Oh, so you have. See, there's some meals that I've had I really like, and I'll go back for like a second time and that was not as good. I've never had that experience with the country fried chicken. And what I love about the country fried chicken is the sheer, like, you get two sides, and that for me
you can get
is
some fries and some
mac and cheese. I think
mac and cheese, please.
Honestly though, to be fair, Buku's.
You know.
Buku's is not obviously not a dream restaurant, but like it's pretty like it's like an American grilly place, and the milkshakes. They do cocktails. I'm like, there's nothing about Buku's that I'm like.
So we need to go at 2 for 1 cocktail
And the problem
time.
is it's not overly pricey either. Like it obviously it's not tuppence, but it's not like mortgage level. But we do need to go for 2 for 1 cocktails. So I just thought about when I went with my parents. They came down and took me and Parker to Buku's, and we went in. They're like, oh, it's 2 for 1 cocktails. Me, my dad, my mum, and Parker had all ordered cocktails. They told us, and so they went, do you want us to double up? So we're like, yeah, of course. So we end up with 8 cocktails on this table. Because we've all ordered it was so... Just seeing a line of 8 cocktails, and Alfie there was J2O.
Wait.
Fucking J2O.
I could play like a horror movie villain. Like,
what would you...
Like, if I just like do like the little... I might have to...
Return of the...
I'm kind of mildly delirious. I think it's all... Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to drink later.
What's that?
I'm excited to drink.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Oh, yeah, it's the Sidemen charity match day. So
it is. So we're basically going to have...
Like the lads we are.
Oh, yeah, lads, away.
Want to put white football until they have a couple of
I
peps.
think we're getting a Chinese after. Well, sorry, I say we're lads. I bought us a bottle of Copperberg gin to have between us.
It's good. It's comedy.
A crate of beer? No. Bottle of gin, bro.
A bottle of gin for us ladies to drink.
Oh my god.
Us feminine ladies.
While watching Max Fosh and Deji score overhead kick. So it's like the Deji.
I really want Deji to score.
That would be.
I think I'm rooting for Deji most of all.
Oh, honestly, Deji and Max Fosh are the two I'm looking at.
Oh, I love you, Deji. I love Deji.
It's just so funny that
Deji's playing football. Fucking Deji, man.
I'm glad they announced Willingly though, because I was slightly worried he wasn't going to play.
I love you, William. And Stephen tries on commentary.
Yeah.
So TikTok over the next week is just going to be Stephen tries funny moments compilation.
And I'll watch every single one.
I'll watch it. It's funny. Did you say your main? No, you did say country fried chicken is your
with
main.
Obviously fries and I think
mac and cheese.
Maybe mac and cheese.
Nice.
The mac and cheese is really nice.
It's good. It's creamy and cheesy.
It is.
That's the thing. if you're going to call it mac and cheese,
make it.
the cheese doesn't come from the cheese on top. You can add some cheese.
That's the thing. Yeah, you can't just boil some pasta and whack a bit of cheese. No.
Cheese sauce. Did that count?
What?
Oh no, we have done half an hour. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just kind of mildly aneurysming in my brain.
Okay. So I think country fried chicken with. To be fair, I'd probably get a cocktail. But I don't know what. I like mixing it up with cocktails though.
Yeah.
I like trying different cocktails and getting really disappointed if they're too strong.
Shit.
Although I don't know what it's called. It's like a gin. It was some sort of gin cocktail I had in Plymouth when I went to see SpongeBob. And it didn't taste like alcohol, it tasted like a mango smoothie. You know the ones you get from Asda? That is what it tasted like, and I was like, this is dangerous. Because I could drink like 4 or 5 of these. But it was so strong. But it just didn't. That's the most dangerous thing. When a drink is strong and doesn't taste like alcohol, you're in trouble.
Yes.
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 Oh, again, this is off topic. There was a drink that Stevie White was talking about on Happy Hour that him and his mates used to make. And I cannot remember. It was mental. Oh, I think it was... So he loved Disaronno, and his mate loved vodka. So I think what they did is they mixed a whole bottle of Disaronno with vodka and a blue VK, I think. And there was something else. And mixed it into this like purple liquid and drank that. And apparently it tasted like Vimto. But because of how strong it was, it just got you absolutely pissed out of like a glass. And I was like, I'd love to make that, but that's a lot of money to like buy a bottle of vodka, a bottle of Disaronno, and all this and mix it. But I'm very curious to try it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well,
I don't like. But apparently they were like, he was like, no, it's really good.
Are you sure about that?
But
my question kind of lose me at vodka with Disaronno.
My question is how drunk were they when they tried it? He didn't mention, because if they were stone cold sober and said it was nice, I believe him. If they were drunk and said it was nice, I'm like, well, yeah, once you're drunk, I will literally drink anything. You can put some Domestos on the table and go, oh, yeah, sure, bang it. Whether that's from suicidal drunk, we don't know.
Really? What?
Dream restaurants!
The links to, BetterHelp will be BetterHelp is sponsored.
Can you imagine that was an ad read? This episode is brought to you by
I don't understand this because so I know this is a massive sidetrack. But I swear like there was a scandal like a few years ago about because obviously because back in the day YouTubers would like be sponsored by BetterHelp.
Yeah.
And then there was a big scandal and BetterHelp was actually a scam and that YouTubers were criticised for it. And now BetterHelp is now back to being a company
Brothers have been sponsored by BetterHelp for at least the past 2 years. I clicked on a video, this sounds really weird, I clicked on a video by accident of theirs. You know when like a notification comes up, you try to swipe away, I clicked on it. And it opened with this video is brought to you by BetterHelp. And I was like, still?
Yeah.
You've been doing that for the past 7 years and I thought they were shit.
Yeah, so I like... Was there a scandal and then they just became a good company?
Maybe.
Or is it a company under new ownership?
But no, because I thought that. But, you know.
Yeah.
What can you do? That would be phenomenal if that was our ad read. Our first ad read on the podcast was talking about drinking Domestos.
Anyone, honestly, at this point, if...
Chuck us 50p.
I
actually don't care.
Buy me a monster, for fuck's sake. That'd be lovely, actually.
Send us like a Mackey's or something. I honestly, I'm not asking, just... It would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just some
we'll make a really creative advert.
It
won't just be sat on this sofa. We'll make such a creative, like... short film advert.
And you can advertise pretty much anything.
I don't think there's anything I want to promote.
Gambling.
For alcohol.
Youth, Holland, euthanasia.
Yeah, Switzerland. I
do
honestly,
you want to die?
Yeah.
Do you want to die? Scandinavians that do it.
Switzerland. It's somewhere in there. Somewhere in that.
Not Holland, is it?
No, I don't know.
Well, yeah, no.
Do you want to die as much as we do?
Well then,
haven't
we got the pod for you? Ironic, because this is a podcast and
comedy.
We put you in this pod and then you fucking die.
Of your own accord.
I kind of rate the shithousery, to be fair. Like,
great,
yeah, I'm kind of done. UK government, can I die? No. Fuck it. I'm off to Scandinavia.
Nordic government, can I die? Yes, you can.
Of course you bloody can.
Cheers, pal. We're going to hop in here then. Oh, that is class. That really is class.
You know, fair enough. Like, you at the end of the... Like, that, to be fair, I'm kind of, kind of for it. Like, if I think, because obviously they force you to go through like a little bit of therapy and go like,
Which I get.
Is this actually what you want to do? I feel like if that's what you want to do,
like, I'm glad there's that process. That kind of does make sense. And they're like, are you sure? Because that's obviously literally one of the biggest decisions the biggest decision you can make in life. So I'm glad there's like stuff to go through to do it. It's very deep, since we were just talking about country fried chicken from Mediocre earlier.
Especially like the people who are just like in pain with like terminal diagnosis.
Yeah,
just like
if they want to just...
Or like, right, if people know they're starting to get like dementia symptoms, they're like, I'm going to lose control, I want to die as me. Fair enough. I 1,000% get that. Like,
I
die.
Charming.
You know, I'm trying to make death as like comedic as possible.
Yeah, no, you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. I usually do.
I've got one other option for my main, I think.
Oh yes.
And this is a very niche.
Is this like set menu style, or is it like?
What was that?
As in like with your multiple options, are you just going like, right, you pin this, and this, or you just like, yeah, you can pick what you want.
Pick what I want.
Pick what you want.
Do you remember the restaurant in Weston called Bottolino's?
I do not. No.
There was an Italian restaurant called Bottolino's in town somewhere. You know where Argos is in town?
Not the Whirl Argos.
No, the Italian by Italian Gardens.
Yes, yeah.
So along that, it's incredibly niche. Along that road, there used to be an Italian restaurant called Bottolino's, and it was really good. And they did this. I can't remember what they called it, but picture a pizza, right? And genuinely, it's about that big. And it's got every meat ever on it. I don't think you can name a meat that was not on that pizza. It was the greatest. I think it was like 15 quid. And it was huge. Every meat ever on it. It was like a honey barbecue base. Greatest. Not very Italian for an Italian restaurant, but...
Sounds very American.
Exactly. Which was very... It shut down now for... I don't know why it shut down.
Tax evasion.
Probably tax evasion.
Happens to the
It did have that vibe. But it was such a good pizza. I do love pizza, to be fair.
I remember there was a place in Hereford.
We are doing a little tour today, aren't we?
Which my... the grandparents that have collapsed took me to. Just for comedy, really. Don't joke on your water, love. And basically...
it was just for comedy, really.
And they didn't collapse for comedy. It was just
they were like, do you want to see a good joke?
Do you want to see a good joke? On the one hand, dementia. On the other hand, fucking colon cancer.
You know how some podcasts do a little trailer bit at the start? We should start doing... I might just clip that and just put it at the start of the podcast. Just on the one hand, dementia. On the other hand... What? I don't know what it was.
I don't actually think it was colon. It would kind of all happen so fast, I was kind of like, I can't really be bothered to ask what the specific cancer is. Cancer's cancer. It sounds like it's going to kill him. So...
You weren't bothered to go, oh, sorry, can I just... What was the specific of that one?
Well, the ones that ring a bell are colon and bowel. I think it might have been bowel. Which is kind of funny, to be fair, because bowel cancer is kind of just like a funny...
Where's I go to? Oh, pancreatic cancer is usually the...
Like, imagine it being skin. Like,
like, you know...
Who
was it we were talking... Was it Fabian we were talking... This sounds like a conversation with Fabian stayed, I think we were having with him. Like, this is obviously an awful conversation to have.
We were probably drunk.
We were very drunk. But we were just saying, like, the interesting and non-interesting forms of cancer.
Like, at least liver, you've had some fun.
Yeah.
Like, lung, you smoke,
yeah.
well.
But if you go pancreatic cancer, you're like, that is mental. Like, fair pancreatic cancer.
Fair fucking play.
I think Jim Henson died of pancreatic cancer.
My grandpa might have died from pancreatic cancer.
Steve Jobs also, I think, died of pancreatic cancer.
God, if you're a celebrity and you want some cancer, here's some free pancreas.
That's definitely how pancreatic cancer works.
I presume pancreatic cancer is in the pancreas, otherwise it sounds too similar.
Or someone just giving you a pancreas.
Okay, sorry, I'll I'll redo my advert just so I'm not sued by the fucking trade standard licensing cunts. Hello, would you like cancer? Here's a free pancreas, just to let you know, just like you asked for, it's got cancer in it. Pancreatic cancer.
That was much better, thank you.
Yeah, there's no false advertising.
No, that is entirely factual as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. But right, so in Foundhope, in Hereford,
yes.
But basically talking about fatty things that surprised us. I basically ordered a lasagna once. I was like 12 years old, and this fatty, like it was basically the size of like a medium Domino's pizza.
Oh my god!
But as a lasagna. Well, like as a kid, that's what it felt like.
When you cooked a lasagna for like a group of people, like if you used like a big pasta dish for a lasagna, like this will serve 5 or 6 people. They just popped that on your plate.
Plonk
have
a
lasagna.
And I specifically remember my mum going like, "What have they done there? You are not going to finish that. You're a 12-year-old." Marcus fucking ration. Yeah,
honestly, that was...
Of course! Me! Look at me! Of course I fucking
Me growing up was literally looking at the menu, finding the biggest thing and going, I reckon I can have a stab at that. Like, we went to a few places...
account for it.
We went to a few places where they had, like, a burger that was, like, the same price as a standard burger. But it was absolutely... I think it was, like, tower burgers, and they'd have, like, 3 patties, like, hash browns, and I was like, every time I go, I reckon I could do that. And my dad would always go, if you do it, I'll do it. So there'd be me and my dad sat there, little 12-year-old me and my dad trying to see who could finish a burger. And 9 times out of 10, I'd beat my dad. I'd be like, yeah, look at that. And now look at me. It's not like you can tell.
Whenever you go to a restaurant, I genuinely account for like, right. Because I love a bit of pasta, but I know I can cook pasta at home. Honestly, usually, if you order a pasta dish, they will skimp you.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you're going like, right,
if it says how big it is in the description...
I'm ready.
I'm like, well, go on then. But also, I'm ready. If I'm going out for a meal, I'm ready for that to be the only meal of the day. Which is probably not a healthy way to look at things. But if I know I'm going out for like lunch, and it's like a proper, like it's like a, somewhere I'll get a meal, I'm like, that's going to be a meal of the day, I'm going to make sure that's a massive meal.
Exactly.
I'm a champ.
Pudding.
Now, if you'd asked me this 2 days ago, I don't think it would have been the same answer. Recently, I was in Doing shop, and I saw the goo cheesecakes and like the little... I've not had one of them in ages, and they had a reduced salted caramel, 2 salted caramel goo cheesecakes. I was like, I have to get them. I forgot how good they are. So I want an actual cheesecake, but that tastes like that good, because there's not enough in that little fucking pot. That's ridiculous. So exactly how that tastes, but just scale it up into an actual cheesecake, and I'll have that. And right, this is almost similar with dips. I'm not a double cream man, I'm not a custard man, I can't think of any desserts where I'd actively rather have a sauce on it. Is that weird?
Apple pie needs a custard.
Apple pie might be the only exception. It's people that have like cream with apple pie then.
Sticky toffee pudding wouldn't make sense without being sticky.
Well, that's the thing, if
it's in the name.
Yeah, if it includes it, that's fine. But as in an additional, you've got a sticky toffee pudding. There's gonna be a toffee sauce with it. I'm not putting anything else on that.
Yeah,
because it's
ice cream. Try a little bit of sauce,
I have a really weird thing with hot and cold foods together. So like, if I've got like a hot dessert, I can't have ice cream with it because it really. I don't know what it is. It's just like a thing where I'm like that. Just like people have like pancakes and ice cream. If it's like a cold pancake, that's fine. But if it's like a hot pancake with ice cream, I'm like, this is just a weird. This shouldn't be allowed.
Is this weird? Things that you forget exist whilst completely in the other side of your brain knowing they exist. I've got 2 examples of this. First thing is that people can own horses.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Just swipe on the dating apps, and then suddenly just people are just like, oh yeah, I own a horse. I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh, that's how you know.
That's
it. Yeah. Tories.
But what do you mean you own a horse? Oh yeah, people can actually own horses. And the other thing is
that is weird, isn't it?
Right, hot desserts exist.
Yeah.
You kind of forget, if pudding.
You kind of think
it's savoury, therefore it's cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they've gone.
It's
What should I get? Right, dessert I've never understood. I don't think ever will. Is bread and butter pudding.
See, I kind of like bread and butter pudding.
It absolutely baffles me.
My mum used to make a bread and butter pudding, and
I trust Helen to make a bread and butter pudding.
Yeah,
if anyone was making me if I was going to try any bread and butter pudding, it would be
Helen Fraser wants a bread and butter pudding. Sort this cunt out. You're not a cunt.
Thank you for the clarification.
You're welcome. Oh, can we end this podcast soon? Because I really need a wee.
Oh yeah, cool. What time is it?
The time is
we've done 45 minutes here.
Yeah, we smashed the game.
We did. And we got half.
Can't drink water, class. Yeah, cool. It's alright, no one makes it to the end of these podcasts anyway.
It's great, I can't drink water, class. Well.
Why am I sort of laughing like Chris? Like a young Chris? Is that how Chris used to laugh as a young man?
I ran into him in Asda after work. It was really scary.
Always get a pasty.
He was with his missus.
Chris shags?
I know. He's got kids, hasn't he?
Chris has kids?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's kids.
Yeah.
Dream restaurant, this is children.
Hey, Dream Restaurant is Sunnyside Daycare.
Do you have anything to add to your restaurant of dreams?
So.
Fuck off! Oh, I should have turned the other on, to be fair.
Oh yeah, you gonna do your loaded fries?
Thanks.